I'll blame me mostly for that. I've been at the wrong match, so it takes me this long to get back. My fault. Look, this is season 4, episode 21, and it's defeat tonight in Tolka Park, which is a little disappointing. Decent enough performance at times. You think of the late change in the keeper front. There's lots probably to go through. A man has been on holidays and has only seen great things from afar. In fact, Dundalk has come back home with a bang. Welcome home, Gally.
Good evening, good night. What time is it? 11:20. Good evening. What's the story? I've been with a bit of a tan. I have a bit of a tan.
A bit of a tan and back with a bang.
Yeah.
Gary, just your overall thoughts on that game tonight? Defeat's disappointing.
Yeah, the most important thing was Dundalk. What we wanted the games is results, regardless of stats and how close we were, and little nuggets of this and little skills and little over the bar shots and Owen Kenny hitting the crossbar. But at the end of the day, it's the results that count. Unfortunately, I think did we deserve a point? We would definitely earn the point. You don't deserve anything. I mean, I'm not a fan of saying, "Oh, we deserve this." You don't deserve it unless you put the ball in the back of the net. But we definitely earned a point. I think Shell's probably had, although look, they've only hit the target once and scored. We haven't hit the target at a 7, but they've definitely had the better chances. They're probably more of them, but they're all half chances. So the game was there for someone. The game was there. I say it the last time we played these as well. It's hard to believe that they're where they are in the league. It's
yeah, but it's these 1-0 victories that does it for them, isn't it?
Absolutely. And they've had 11, I think they've had 11, 12 shots tonight, 1 on target, and that's all it takes. You can have 70% of the ball, you can have 1,000 touches, it doesn't matter, but it only takes one chance. And unfortunately, we've hit the bar with Owen Kenny laid on. Ryan O'Kane's had a little bit of a spark in the first half, 1 or 2 over the bar, but Shells were almost identical to us in ways with their chances, but they got the one that mattered, and that's the only difference. I mean, that little, we can talk about Archie Davis maybe for a goal. Jarvis was all over the shop tonight. He hounded our centre backs, hounded the full backs. He was everywhere. Mm-hmm. So he probably earned that little bit of luck that he got and a little bit of chance that Archie Davis gave him to get in for John Martin. But that's going to be the difference. It's games like that, and Mark Harlan, you got to be good with it because on the face of it, we've 100% earned something from tonight's game, but it's just Shells it's that dogged performance that they've probably been all season. I don't even know if Shells have hit. I know they beat Shamrock Rovers earlier in the season, but they're probably not even playing to where Duff wants them to play. They're just kind of meandering on, and they're just getting results. They're just getting results each week, and that's all it's going to take. And unfortunately, where we are in the league, those type of nights, we're going to get more of them, unfortunately, before it gets any better. But we need to be those little lacks of concentration. It's that one chance Shelbourne got. We fell asleep for just a minute. I mean, it's the only real sniff we really gave, the only real kind of, I suppose, breakdown maybe at the back that we had, and we've been punished. And it's that clear cut, really.
Post match, John Daly said he was gutted with the defeat. He didn't think that Shells had done enough really in it, and we had equal chances. He did mention, which was the big talking point before it, Monroe, he said, had a niggle coming into this match, but they took the gamble that he would be okay, and clearly in the warm-up felt something. If you're Sean Malloy, you're just getting thrown in at the deep end. It must have been a roller coaster for him.
Yeah, and I assumed when I seen the injury, I assumed Peter Cherry would play. I didn't even know, because when we seen on the Connect app, I didn't actually know Sean Malloy was in the squad. But yeah, look, I done himself no harm, but what a night to get thrown in Tolka Park against Damien Duff's team. It's unlucky for Monroe. I don't know what the nickel was. I don't know if it's groin. I don't know what he had, but I mean, it's obviously
it sounded muscular anyway that they were trying to manage it.
Not enough that they were willing to say no, well, he's out. They're to give him literally till the last minute, it seems. But yeah, look, Malloy's come in. I haven't seen a lot of him. We've heard a lot about him at the 19s and youth system, but he seemed to show it enough. And it's although we've been bet, he hasn't had a lot to do. I mean, I think there's a chance early on in the game, could be from Liam Burt maybe, a long range effort that's just sneaked wide. That's probably only really time he's had to leave the ground really for a save. He hasn't really done it. It hasn't had to do a lot. He looked.
I think that was that Caffrey's one that was bending in the first half, was it?
I mean, yeah.
No, the commentator loves shouting out Caffrey.
Half is right, yeah. Like, you know, I think he looked decent enough. I mean, he's a lump of a young fella. I don't know what age is he, 18, 19? Even
I think he's only 18, I'd say, yeah.
He looks every bit the keeper. But yeah, look, throw him in. I mean, sometimes you just got to be ready to go when he seemed to be ready to go at the last minute. And yeah, look, I would have no qualms about him. I know it's
19. Yeah, he's only 19.
He looked probably more assured on the ball at his feet than Monroe does at times. And that's not to say, you know, he'd be your logical step next, but Monroe would still be the number one for the remainder of the season. But yeah, he's come in, he's done rightly. He's done himself John Daly obviously has listened to Liam Burns or whoever's going on. Obviously Peter Cherry back and doing his coaching. But yeah, no qualms with putting him in, and seemed to be very relaxed in the ball. Yeah, seemed to read the boys really well. Probably trained really well because the defence and him seemed to link up nice. Yeah, I mean, again, we bring you to the goal. If we talk about the goal later on, yeah, there's an argument he maybe could have stepped a little bit quicker. But look, that's the goalkeepers' union for yourself and Tom O'Connell to talk about later on. But,
well, then we'll go straight to up front after, you know, having a man of the match performance by somewhat of a landslide here on Monday night with myself and Steph.
So I believe.
Gullen, you know, to go off injured, and you know we've lamented about our lack of goal scorers at the club and people who will take a chance, and we seem to see a different side of Gullen where Jamie was taking these chances to go off injured. Then that really, you know, you're thinking going into that, you're probably thinking that, you know, John Daly's any chance of an L game plan is going out the window fairly quickly.
Yeah, especially after what he's been doing over the last, you know, at the last game, like you said, at the Pats match. But yeah, to lose a player and early in the game, you know, like it's, you know, it'd be definitely kind of, it'd been running dogged all night, maybe for an hour, 70 minutes. Look, there's never a good time to pull the hamstring, it seems to be. But yeah, to lose him early, I agree. Sean Newbury's got in before me. I definitely would 100% agree with Owen Kenny. Probably should have come on then. But look, we've been talking about Owen Kenny for a long time. But on the Gullen situation, yeah, it's just one of them things that we kind of said a couple of weeks ago. You know, when you're down there, when you've got no luck on the table, points, you know, when you're having a bad run, everything multiplies, and that's an issue now that John Daly's going to have to deal with straight out the gate. There was probably an issue anyway. They're probably going to look at that
well,
area.
They did say,
but now they definitely have to.
I'm nearly certain it was under Stephen O'Donnell, maybe, that he said that we had such lack of striking options that Gullen kind of held his hand up to said he would play through the pain barrier. So he's obviously had a niggle like from very close to the start of the season all the way through. So you're wondering if this might have finally the hamstring has finally gave up, if that was the issue all along, or could the hamstring be an issue because he was trying to lay off.
Yeah, where he put his hand as well, it seemed to be high up the leg as well. So it didn't seem to be just a straightforward, just behind the just above the knee. It seemed to be a bit high. So I don't know if he's done maybe a little bit higher damage up there, maybe. But
as you say, it's only 20 minutes into the match. It's
only 20 minutes in. You're only getting warmed up. You know, it's look, and he's when you look back, he's stretched. But I mean, he's obviously he's a striker. He's going to stretch for the ball. He's going to that willingness to get to the ball. At least he has it. But yeah, you know, it's, you know, tongue in cheek or touch wood, whatever you want to put it. It gives a chance for someone else now. Who that person is, you know, Cammy Elliott's come on for him. They might fancy the strength maybe of Cammy Elliott, maybe a little bit more experience, not in League of Ireland, but definitely more experience as a player maybe than Owen Kenny. But then Owen Kenny comes on, and that's twice I've seen him. I've seen his chance at Inchicore last week as well.
He's got more minutes under John Daly than he has under any other manager as well.
Yeah, I think we're on to something. You know, we're in the Rhino Kane territory here. This kid is going to be like he looked like he's been playing all season. I mean, to let the ball out from his feet tonight for his chances at the crossbar. I know we're getting on from the Gullen situation, but for someone just to come in, that he would be 100% my pick. But I think we could look at it too, maybe, you know, Cammy Elliott and himself, because one thing that Dundalk are going to need now is goals. I mean, like John Daly said after the match, they looked decent enough at the back. Everything was assured at the back. Obviously, Archie Davis, the slip, you know, not the slip, but letting Jarvis in. But as a team, he made the change at halftime. He brought on Benson from Waioa. You know, they needed something up top, and it was spotted. And we've been talking about it long enough. but we're kind of set at the back. I think what they need to do now is change the way they play up top. Maybe the two boys. I don't think you can risk two players now with one of them.
Well, but he's done. Yeah, I think that injury to Gullen is probably. It'll probably he'd be more cautious going into it. But we've seen going into both the Derry match and the Pats match that he played Elliott kind of off. Slightly off Gullen in kind of number 10 or kind of close to him to give him that little bit of help up front. But as you say, that's probably going to push it back a bit. Somebody who's we'll do a quick man of the match later on. We'll probably only do a quick enough show tonight just because it's much later. But someone who looked, he was at the heart of a lot of the best things that we did on Monday, and then tonight. When we talk about Daryl Horgan, we don't often talk about his tackling prowess, but a last ditch. I think Gav put up something that it was nearly Franco Baresi-esque. The timing of it was absolutely perfect. There's not something we normally see, that kind of tracking back from Daryl Horgan, but it was a hell of a challenge in the first half.
I actually thought at the time it was more. Do you remember? I remember Wayne Rooney going to DC United in the MLS and chasing the ball. And that, I don't know how he found himself in that position, but it goes to show that experience. He never gave it up. I think there was a Jarvis or Caffrey. I can't remember who he came across to, but I mean, it's a fantastic tackle. He's hunted him right down. How he's found himself so deep in the game. But there's a couple of times he's found himself playmaking for him, almost what Keith Ward would have been when he played with us.
Yeah.
Kind of Alfie Lewis, Scott Hay, found himself in that role. I don't know if that's intentional, but, he was excellent tonight. I mean, really, not his best game, but that kind of influence, you want from kind of a player of his ability, a player of experience that can read a game like that himself, the likes of Robbie Benson, Andy Boyle. The defence have been caught out maybe with the ball tonight, but yeah, look, I mean, it epitomises what he can do. We're probably guilty of, and we'll hold our hands up, we're probably guilty of early in the season, probably giving him a bit of a hammer that he wasn't really producing, but I don't think the team were producing. I think there's a bit more about them now that, it allows, if we're talking 6 games ago, Daryl Horgan's probably not, everybody, that player just runs in on goal. There's probably nobody there to cover him. But now there's that little bit of fight. There's a little bit of kind of the manager change again, another manager change. But, to go to Tolka Park, everybody wants to beat Damien Duff Shelbourne now. And that you got to be up for them games. And that kind of running back, tracking back, covering the defence, covering any mistakes, that's what we want from these type of players. And all players, but players like Daryl Horgan, it's great to see because we probably give him a pace than earlier in the season. But I think some of it can be justified. We probably, if we look back at the end of the year, we probably get player of the season and we'd be taking our face. But you want your experienced players to drag this team out of where they are at the minute. And in moments like that, on the flip side of the goal, if we take away the goal out of it, moments like that can kind of get a crowd behind you, change a game for you. Unfortunately, it hasn't tonight, but you're going to need more of that throughout the season. And yeah, look, it epitomise what Daryl Horgan can do when he's on the money.
We see another assured performance from Zach Johnson as well tonight. He's someone really has grown and taken his opportunity in this team. He's definitely one of those that, if there's any way we can hold on to him, we got to do this, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't know how many pizzas he's gotten this year, how many mentions for pizza he's gotten this year, but yeah, it's, you hear rumours that, such and such are looking back and so, players might, but we've obviously had McGuckin during the week as well, and I know he hasn't played a massive part this year, but you got to hang on to players like that. I mean, it's all right saying, if they can go, if they want it back or if somebody's looking for them, but where do you go and replace them? Where do you go looking, for players like that can come straight into a team? You'd have to get someone from the league, and the chance of you getting someone who's Premier Division to come and play where we are in the league at the minute, I don't know. But yeah, players like that are massive, so influential over the season. Again, excellent tonight as well. But yeah, a surprise probably a player we didn't have really at the start of the season because he was such a late signing. As unfortunately, probably half a dozen of them. Well, we didn't really have him down as kind of someone who's going to come in and influence the squad. But yeah, real kind of. He's almost, I know he's young, but he almost looks like he's going to be captain material of some team going forward. I think he's got quality written all over him. But yeah, players like that have got to be hung on to. Hopefully he seems keen. that he wants to stay. Like, but I mean, it's got to be I won't say a no-brainer unless something else comes along. But yeah, you got to be looking at keeping players like that. Absolutely. Especially when they've played the first 6 months, they know what it's like now. They're going to be the ones that's going to try and get us out of this.
Did you feel we missed Bradshaw as well tonight?
In ways, yeah, because
I think we had to change our formation and everything else just to accommodate that, and that probably
really. When you have a player like Bradshaw, like I didn't think at the start of the season, I didn't know what to make him. He played kind of CDM, but when he was found in at left back, when the lads put him in at left back, he is a massive. It's only when they're missing on games like that you realise, Jesus, what could he have done here? I mean, he can tackle, he can head, he can run, he can pass. I know it's really Roy Keane, old school. You can do all this stuff, but you're going to need people like that. And yeah, badly missed tonight. I mean, well, I don't know if we mean badly missed, but you can definitely notice.
I just felt that I felt nearly.
Would have been harsh on players that played like.
It's the tweak of formation and everything else to accommodate. Like myself and Steph were only talking about it in the for the Derry match that. You know, we looked really accomplished at the back. Everyone seemed settled. Everyone knew their roles. I think is really what Steph was saying. It's like when you get, you know, used to your playing partners beside you, you understand when people come, when people go. That kind of got pulled out tonight, which is you know, that's probably come back to bite us now. That it's only when he's not there, like you say, you realize we haven't really got a like for like replacement here. Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, that's come back to bite us, and I believe he was unavailable due to compassionate leave tonight. So we hope it's nothing too bad. But I think that is one, you know, and Andy Burton's just talking about, you know, the loan signings until summer, and he's right, because that, you know, Bradshaw looks like it's definitely one that you know, his parent club is keen to get him back. And, you know, has been delighted that he got the experience. And that is the flip side, exactly what Andy's saying there is, if they can impress, you know, the parent club do want them back, because when their players are coming back for pre-season, it's good to see how they match up to the players that's currently in their parent club, and that's probably what we're seeing there with Bradshaw.
Yeah, and it might not necessarily even be the parent club. It could be someone, maybe, whether it be like in we say Zach Johnson's case or Zach Bradshaw. It could be a League Two, League One. That's, you know, League Two versus League of Ireland. Attendances wise, club wise, stature wise, there's a bit of a gap, you know, for most of the clubs in League Two from ourselves. So if there's a chance that they're going on loan somewhere else and playing, I mean, if they went on loan now to someone back from us, there's potential. You've got FA Cup, you've got League Cup, you know, you've got all they all go into that pot at that time of the year. Your draw comes
but with Lincoln going down as well, Gally, there's probably some players are going to leave there. Exactly. You're looking at Bradshaw, and they're probably thinking, well, here's a guy that's gone out and he's got similar experience for the division we're going into. Maybe, you know, can he hit the ground running? And that's maybe why. And
he'd be coming in ready to go. Whereas if he had stayed where he was, he'd be playing he might be training with the reserves but now he's coming in first team football, ready to go. You know, it's like they're getting a new player back. You know, so that's always the worry. And Andy's right. Like that's always the worry with getting the loan signings in for these 6-7 month periods. It's not ideal. But you know, you'd like to think we can hang on. But Bradshaw seems to be one that's been talked about. And look, it's unfortunate. But look, if he does go back, look, he's been excellent. I mean, probably not off to the greatest of starts, but in at left back, I don't know where he would play naturally. But for us, yeah, I think he's been excellent. And like you said, missing tonight, unfortunate. But yeah, look, a player that's we're going to have to try and replace now, not even as a squad player, just, you know, as you're starting. So yeah, it's not ideal, but that's John Daly would have got the wind of that before he probably took the job, so he knows what he's got enough experience in the league over the last couple of seasons to know that his work's going to be cut out from in the transfer market.
Yeah, look, we'll probably still do our usual man of the match competition. So if everyone wants to keep popping in their man of the match nominations for tonight, we will get to that at the end of the show. So look, we've probably coughed up a fair number of chances in the first half. You talked about Ryan O'Kane's opportunity he had, kind of cutting back in, reminisce of his goal in Inchicore, kind of, but. It's safe to say we restricted Shells mostly to just shots outside the box. I know McCaffrey was close enough, or Caffrey was close enough with his, and you're, on another day that could have easily bent in. But like for Malloy in there, I don't think he wasn't tested in any way. So can you see why John Daly then went and kind of swapped it up at halftime and went for that attacking change into the team, taking Milo off?
I mean, most of the chances, if you look back, not all of them, but the majority of chances, especially in the first half, they're all kind of killer passes. I mean, there's one from John Martin in particular that I think it's Caffrey that just slings it a wee bit wide, but it's never going in. But I mean, it's a half chance, maybe a bit more experience. He probably goes to the other side of the goalkeeper and probably beats him in fairness. But I think I think Daly was obviously confident enough that they could cut out those passes because in front of goal, there wasn't really a lot happening. I mean, yeah, they've had their chances, but like you said, they're half chances, a couple wide.
They're swinging at them though, aren't they?
And they're coming at them that fast from the pass. They're not quick enough. They weren't quick enough tonight anyway to deal with that. That's probably why they're not a massively high scoring team. Maybe I don't know, but Liam Burt's chance in the second half is probably the best chance of the game, with the exception of the goal. But I mean, you can probably afford to cough up chance like that if you can create something at the far end. But unfortunately, we've had 7 shots and none on target. And like, if you're not going to get goals and shots on target, you're never going to score. And if you're going to cough up one, that one will be a goal. If you're going to cough up a chance on target, more often than not, if you're not hitting the target, by the law of averages, the goal the chance that they can target will be a goal, because that's just the luck. When luck's against you, that's what's going to happen. Yes, we restricted them, but we didn't restrict them enough. When it came to it, for all the half chances, it was the Jarvis running down the sideline, down the byline. Like I think somebody's mentioned he should just put him into the stands. Hindsight, he probably should have. Like Archie Davis at Oriel Park probably nails him early. But unfortunately, he's gone around the long way and in, and a very probably unshell's goal, I suppose, because of the way the chances fell tonight. But he's gotten in, and look, it's a neat pass in. Could you be questioning? Could somebody cover John Martin quicker? Yes. Because there really only was one pass on, in my opinion. There's one on the edge of the box.
I think Benson was coming in, but he was just like a 30 fraction of a second.
And that's when you're down where we are in the league, those fractions might as well be yards. Like that's what's going to happen to us, unfortunately.
If we dug through the goal, like you kind of gone through most of it there, like it looks like Davis has done everything right. He's opened himself up. He's shown him he doesn't want him to go inside. But it's the quick feet of Jarvis which really gets him to the byline. And when he's, you can kind of see Archie's kind of with him and then realize I need to let him go because he's heading into the box here and on the wrong side. I'm giving away a penalty. Yeah, it's the ball in and across, like you say. You'd probably say if Malloy has more experience, he probably gets out quicker to that front post. There is a melee of feet in there. You've got Robbie Benson coming in. You've got John Martin coming in. And I think it might be, is it John Mountney at the back is trying to slide in at the end. So there is feet flying, to be fair to him. To be fair to the young keeper as well. It's not somewhere where you're naturally going to want to put your head down in there. But if you like to think if he could have took a step out there, he might have been able to even knock it out with the feet or something like that, or just trying to get across it. And I think that's the other thing where you probably have the likes of Boyler and that doesn't know, is he going to do that? Is he not? Because if they didn't know he was not going to do that, they probably would have tried to cover off that front post, or maybe Robbie Benson gets there quicker. And that's the unfortunate thing when you're, when we had to change keepers like that, the defenders in front of them don't know. But like you say, it's one bit of skill that kind of unlocked it and took it all. And it's very Shells this year. It's very Shells. Like let's be honest. That's what they've done. They sit back to take the opportunities and do little else in the game, but that has them top of the league. And unfortunately, like I was at Weaver's Park here tonight, and I would say if Drogheda and Pats were still there, they wouldn't have scored tonight. Like it was putrid, but because they just didn't have that little moment to unlock. Yeah. And I think that's the difference with teams that aren't, as you just mentioned, when your luck's out, when you're down there, you don't get these opportunities. Yeah, and in
fairness to Shells, Jay he was knocking on the door all night. I mean, he was getting chances. He was allowed time on the ball, and the one time he's been allowed to run, I don't know if maybe Davis isn't expecting it. But the one time he's allowed to run,
I think he thinks he's checking onto his other foot.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you can see him. He moves his weight over to his left foot, And just as he does that, Jarvis cuts in towards his right, and he's off balance slightly. And by the time he shifts and gets his weight back on, Jarvis has gone past him, and then he has to pull away, like I say, because he doesn't want to foul.
Yeah, it's the perfect kind of coming together for Jarvis, because he's just torn like. If he does it half a yard or a yard further down the field, he probably swings out for a goal kick. It's just it's not poor from Arch. I don't want to say it's poor from Arch Davis. It's just it's
poor in the sense he should have seen him out.
Of course, yeah.
You can see the corner, worst case scenario, and we go again. Yeah,
Steph
he'd be kicking himself.
Steph would have put him into the stands. There's no doubt about it. If Steph was here, tactical pad Steph, he would have put him right into the stands. But on another look, he'll annoy himself over that and lead him up. He'll probably get sent off to the next game. The next time he goes to 1-on-1 with someone. But yeah, look, that's what you get. Unfortunately, that's the rub of the green you get when we're down where we are. And look, you know, I think Sligo beat tonight. Or Sligo beat tonight, I think.
Sligo were beaten by Waterford, I think.
Waterford, yeah. So you're getting a little bit of rub of the green somewhere else, but you got to take advantage. Unfortunately, we're not. It's like
you're back bottom again.
When I say rub of the green, it's, you know, artificial grass green. It's not even, you know, proper rubbing of anything. But we got to be, you know, we're really in the mix now for, you know, especially after Monday's game. You know, you're kind of, it's a typical Shells night in Tolka Park. You know, it's kind of something we probably should have really expected. You know, kind of go up and it's a bit of a lull game and you get nothing from it. But we really have to start, you know, when we have 7 chances to score is not bad. I mean, that's a lot of chances, but we need to start hitting targets, because, like, if you take Shelbourne's attitude to it, if you hit the goal enough, they'll score, and that's what Shelbourne have been doing all season. I mean, I'd like to see their stats for chances on goal for the whole season. They probably have 5 million, you know, but they score about 20 goals. But like, if you pepper the goal, one will go in eventually. And unfortunately, we're just not getting that. You know, we talked about the striker the last told. Gullen's obviously gone injured tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how we go for the next couple of weeks.
Well, let's talk about Owen Kenny then.
Well, I think, and I'm when he's on it, I think Cammy Elliott is very good. I just don't think he's had enough of a run at it. He's had enough of an impact starting the game. Now, he hasn't started tonight, but, you know, you'd expect him if Owen Kenny is an Owen Kenny and he's not there. Cammy Elliott would be our obvious starter. But I think at Oriel in particular, if you're going to try and get results at Oriel to get the crowd in, I think it's a no-brainer to start Owen Kenny. Now, John Daly might have a different attitude. Might want the physicality of a Cammy Elliott, probably similar to Gullen in ways. But Owen Kenny, I think he could be frightening. I really do. Like, I didn't realise how good of a footballer he was until you see him. You know, like, he's such a tall young fella. He can run. He's pacey. I'd say he's
got this thing now where clearly he's not afraid to take on a player. Sure, he's not. No, like, we're seeing this. This seems to be his, you know, his go-to move is he opens himself up in front of a defender, and just as they jump in to get him, he can evade that challenge, open his body up then and bend one. He was very, very unlucky in Inchicore on Monday. It is a great save from the keeper, and tonight, like, he can do pretty much no more. He puts it over and past Conor Cairns, who's, for me, is the best keeper in the league, and then it cannons off the crossbar and back out. Like, it's that close to getting a draw tonight, and that draw tonight, you know, that would have had both, you know, even coming away from Tolka with a draw tonight, would have had, you know, Pats and Drugs, you know, kind of scratching their heads, going, shit, they picked up a point.
And the thing about the advantage Owen has for us is that it's almost come by. I don't want to go on liking it to right, okay, but it's an unknown player. He's yes, I know he's got a bit of time in the league. He's doing Wexford, Wexford. So, but still at that level, like, I wasn't even expecting him to be as pacey as he was until I seen the highlights of the Pats match. I hadn't seen a lot of him to see how pacey he was, but I think he could be frightening. Now, maybe it's wrong to call him the start. You know, maybe we're panicking because Gullen's injured. I don't know, but I don't see bringing him on half.
Sligo at home.
Absolutely. You know? It's like, and especially at Oriel, get him on, local young fella. Like, if we don't start playing him, his father's going to come looking for him in July. Do you know what I mean? Because he's going to need a couple of goal scores when he looks for it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think for the night that's in it, especially Sligo, where they are, where we are,
And you have a break at 2 weeks after.
yeah, exactly right. You have a 2 week break. It's all games are must win, but this like where we are, where Sligo are, where we could be at the end of it. I don't know who draw to have, but we got to win. That's got to be a must win. That's got to be all it win. Like you got to get that Oriel roll back. It's the last game for 2 weeks, like you say. For me, Owen Kenny, Ryan O'Kane, yeah.
Away to Galway.
Get Steph
away to Galway
the 3
for Drogheda away to Galway next week. So that's
like, I mean, they won't get much over there. Yeah, they're not going to get much over there. So for me, I would start, and that's not to have a go. That's not to say it with Cammy Elliott. I think Cammy Elliott could be a very, very good footballer. Unfortunately for Cammy, he just doesn't get a run at it. And when he does get a run at it, the chances don't just come from him. But that's true of the Dundalk team anyway. So if you put Cammy into a Shelbourne team,
is Cammy the fall guy to an out-and-out striker?
It could be, and we're probably guilty of that as well. We're probably guilty of hammering him as well. But unfortunately, with the way we are, there's no chances for anybody. But Owen Kenny seems to create his own chances. So for me, 100%. Now I said I'm very wary of the fact that I said the same with Ryan O'Kane when he came along. Start him, play him, start him. But I think, absolutely bring him on. I'm sure if it's not working, you have Cammy Elliott then to come in, but I would be looking to start him. Cammy would probably be the one to start, I would think. I think, the fact that he's there, he'd be looking to go. I probably think he probably will, but at Oriel Park, play the two of them. Like you got to get goals. We can't be, we can't be sitting back. We got to go after these teams now because it's win or die now at this stage. Like we're coming into June, we're still rock bottom. We're not as rock bottom as we were, but
we're level on points. But
you got to start picking up difference. Because you got to go. Like if you don't pick up points, if you don't keep in line with Drogheda, you're going to have to beat them. So if you're that far behind when you beat them, sure, you're not going to catch them up anyway. So we got to get those wins on the bounce, and I think Sligo Rovers are an ideal one. Ideal to throw them in, 100%.
Yeah, like I suppose that the big issue then as well, it's still a 8-point gap.
Yeah,
to looking at Bows and Pats then, and I know you're saying they've 2 games played extra or whatever, but they do have the points on the board, and when points are hard to come by at the moment, that it's a chasm for us. And games like tonight, when you're not expected to pick up the points, if you can pick up something, that's really the one, because in particular Drogheda don't seem to be picking up a whole lot. Like you were kind of nailing them on for their home games previously, and Shamrock Rovers were always the dodgy team for them as well. But they went there last week, took all 3 points. Pat's not playing great this year, and they only they only draw with Pats tonight. So on a run there where I think Drogheda were 5 games in a row defeated as well. We got to take advantage of that, and we did to a certain extent. But tonight would have just been even just to stay that point ahead of them. If we could do that going into the break, and I think that's probably why the Sligo game becomes even more important.
It's huge. Like, and I think even
if we can leapfrog them again, and that 2 week break, that will play in players' heads, like, won't it?
Yeah, like even if it was, even if we go playing Derry next week or Rovers, it's a massive game. But the fact that you're playing a team in or around you, because obviously this can go either way. If you're beaten, it's a real bad beat. Like, because of where we are, there is, like I keep saying, the closest of the squads on the table. But if you can't beat teams around you, like look at Waterford again tonight. Like it's not that long ago Waterford. We'd have fancied ourselves against them. We wouldn't fancy ourselves against them at any night of the week now. But the likes of Sligo, minimum you got to be looking at. I was about to say minimum as a draw. I don't even think we can take a draw. I think we got to be going for wins. You got to be going. You got to be going gung ho for it from the off. Just get at them. And with Gullen now, it's probably a game that's probably made for Gullen. It really is. But just on the Owen Kenny thing for me,
but you got to play Prince at some stage, haven't you?
Of course. Like there's no point in letting him. Like the impact he has, he improves the game when he comes on. So let's see him from the start. Like I don't. It's a win-win. You know what you're going to get then at the end of it. yeah, I think he's got to start for me. He's got to start for me. I think he's too good to be leaving on the bench. I think he's got everything. I think he'd be top player. And it's rare you see it. You know what I mean? It's rare you kind of, everybody would have said, oh, Kenny, yeah, because of his dad. And maybe he's at the youths because of his dad. Pure talent, pure raw ability. I think he's going to be top class.
Yeah, look, and I think when Ryan came in that time, just to liken him to it, I think when he came in that time, in particular the Bows match, that preseason one on the restart,
That's right. Yeah.
he was like, "Nah, you can't play him. You can't play him. He's too young or whatever." And I think was it Tiernan that time was saying, there was plenty of standout players in the under-19s, and Ryan really wasn't one.
Yeah,
but
right.
he just took the opportunity and went for it when he was there, and it worked for him. And you think, as I say, in the last 2 games, we've probably seen more from Owen Kenny than we have at any other time this year. So John Daly obviously has seen something in him, and as I say, we're down to bare bones up front. We definitely need something from it, and maybe it's that little unknown as well.
Yeah.
That they won't know exactly what Owen Kenny does at all in all situations, that you probably would have seen more from Cammy Elliott or Gullin because they played more often. So maybe that little, unknown entity might be exactly what we need. Like, we're seeing solid performances at home, but we're saying we had the better opportunities to beat Derry. We just didn't take them. Derry seemed to not be able to do anything. We were fairly decent shutout, bar one thing tonight. We could have had a draw against the league leaders. So, like, we're not, like you said, we're not a million miles away.
No.
But we just might need that little bit of something. And if that could come, from Kenny getting his chance, then why not? It's worth a chance. Like, it is definitely worth the gamble.
I don't even think it is a chance. I just don't. It's not like I don't see it as a risk. He is clearly more than good enough to play. So I'm not criticizing. Like, John Daly's only in. I don't want to be saying, oh, he has to start. He doesn't have to. But I mean, when you're looking for goals and it's not the way they're playing is not working, I think Kenny can create his own chances. I think he's quick enough. He's powerful enough. He's clever enough. Like,
definitely.
Like most, I'd say even Gullin tonight with that chance tonight that Kenny, he probably hits it first time or takes a touch on his right and he ends up in no man's land, whereas Kenny's let it run across his body and hit it with his left. Yeah, it's little bits like that for me, because they're going to come off at some stage. I just think, that unknown, like you say, that kind of raw, and like the fact that it's at Oriel as well. Yeah, the fans will be there. Hopefully, as you say, it's the last game for a couple of weeks, so we get a packed crowd if we can. Look, we might get a packed crowd against Sligo, but you got to use it to your advantage. That local player, that local connection. Because Ryan O'Kane seems to be getting a bit of a run now as well. He kind of not disappear, but at the start of the season, probably in and out of the team a bit more than we thought. Rory said tonight,
Georgie Kelly there, you'd lament that. I think at the moment, Greg Sloggett there again. I think Greg Sloggett has probably been to more games than John Daly has right now. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we could get that over the line without a doubt. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. We'll have a look. I suppose. Look, we don't want to go into it too long. Will we do a man of the match?
Go for it.
I'm going off what I'd seen in a lot of the highlights and that, but I think if you're for the work and commitment across it, and a person who's definitely kind of upped what, as I said, we know about the levels that Daryl Horgan can get to.
Yeah. And
it's that sort of level of expectancy from him now as well that I think we're starting to see more of the Daryl back that can unlock other defenses. But tonight, I think for his Franco Parisi tackle more than anything, I'd give it to Daryl.
Yeah, I'd agree. Zach Johnson probably had an excellent game, but not as an obvious an excellent game as he normally would have. Mm-hmm. Astute, kind of very easy on the ball, but I just think the work rate, and I don't want to sound cheesy, but that kind of wearing the badge, playing for the badge, that type of thing. Although we haven't won the game, his work rate tonight was excellent. I probably think, I'd love to give a slice of that pizza to Owen Kenny, because I think if he played another 20 minutes, he probably gets an equaliser for us.
Yeah.
But we'll have to get Darryl. I'll have to ask Darryl to give him a wee slice. But Darryl Hogan, yeah, I like, to be honest, it's probably the one night where I don't have more than two options. Usually I have like 3 or 4 players that might, as bad as we've been all season, we've had a couple of options for man of the match. And I think, look, a young Malloy coming in hasn't done himself any harm either, although he hasn't anything to do as such. But look, the astute enough. No, Darryl Hogan all day. Yeah, I think it's been excellent. Work rate, yeah, exactly what you're looking for, especially going into next week as well. Although we haven't won, yeah, Darryl Hogan.
Yeah, well, look, I think Jason Crawley's agreed with me there with the sliding tackle as well in the first half. So I think we'll give it to Jason tonight as well. So congratulations, Jason.
Yes.
You are the winner of our 15-inch Tony's Pizza from Tony's Pizzeria. So just give Vinny and the lads your name there and tell them you're a town end winner. We'll pass on your details as well, just so they know to expect it. Gally, we've probably gone over the Sligo game now, so there's no need to go over old ground on that again. One thing I would say that I was asked to mention was just the Golf Classic again. So that's coming up on the 20th of June. I know all the tee times have sold out, but the club are interested in anyone who wants to get involved with any of the tee sponsorship or the green sponsorship as well. So you can get in contact with Peter Halpin at the club or Nita Whelan there as well. So I think the tee sponsorship is €100 and the green sponsorship is 200. So if anyone is able to get involved in that, and I think the communication from the club as well is, look, even if you're not interested in the golf for that, you can pop up later on where they're having a dinner and stuff like that. So I think that's something that the fans can still get involved in, even if golf isn't your thing, which is not mine.
It used to be mine, and then I just gave up. Pigeon pot.
No. Yeah, that's it. That's crazy golf for me. I know that. Look, Gally, as I said, we're running a bit late tonight, so there's no point in taking up everyone's time. It's midnight already. We'll wrap this up. Gally, it's good to have you back with a bit of tan. Couldn't bring us the result tonight, but we've had worse. Want to thank Vinny and all the lads in Tony's Pizzeria as always for a man of the match competition, for Player Fit for our merchandise, and of course to Donald Green and Dundalk Village for their overall sponsorship of the podcast, as always, of which without we would not be able to do this. We will go and do it all again in a week's time, probably having a break this time, as thin of our squad was. Having 3 games in 7 days was probably just a touch too much, and we've seen two injuries, 2 pull-ups, possible muscle injuries in Gullen and Monroe tonight. As tight as the squad already is, the break of a week is probably exactly what we need, just to get us into this break then after. But it probably highlights more how important this Sligo game is now becoming, and if we can get anything out of that that betters, I suppose, the draw the result, that's exactly what we need. But until next Friday, come on to town.